Welcome to Sales Accelerators, Winning Strategies for Financial Professionals, an educational webinar series that explores the latest tools and concepts to help boost your sales performance and drive business growth. Join us as we analyze trending topics in life insurance, investigate the latest headlines, and discuss solutions to accommodate your clients' unique needs. Please welcome your host, Kurt Fasen, Executive Vice President of Sales and Marketing.
Hello, welcome again to another edition of our webinar series, Sales Accelerators. Now, this is a place where we try to give you ideas and strategies that you can put into action to increase sales and really improve your business. Today, I'm pleased to be joined by Tom Hall. He is our guest from Protective Life. Tom is the Divisional Vice President and responsible for driving sales revenue and managing the wholesale team for brokerage distribution. He's been with Protective for over 16 years, works out of his home in Southern California. That's tough work there, Tom, when you get to work out of SoCal. Nice job. And if he isn't working, he likes to do a lot of skiing, fishing, volunteering at church, and just spending time with his family. Tom, welcome. Good to have you with us today.
Yeah, great. Well, thank you for having me. It's always good to be with my good friends from DBS. So thanks again.
You bet. Well, hey, let's just jump right in. Now, we've designed these sessions to offer really some quick hits for life insurance sales for all of you. As you're listening either through the podcast or watching us on the video today, I want to make sure that you really have something that can kind of get you started right out of the gates. So we're going to talk about a real opportunity for advisors to add revenue to your business, but at the same time, bring a high level of insurance solutions to your very best corporate clients and potentially even protect your business from competitors. So Tom, why don't you break this down a little bit for us?
Sure. Yeah, Kurt. So let me kind of maybe set the stage from a high level, and then we'll kind of jump into more details as we go through it. But one of the biggest challenges that corporate leaders face is how are they going to recruit, retain, and reward their key employees, their key talent. And a few years ago, the Society of Human Resource Management conducted a study, and they found that over 90% of the employees indicated in that survey that benefits were an important part of their overall job satisfaction, as well as and companies that had more comprehensive benefit packages also had about a 20% higher retention rate. Okay, so employees are looking for more financial advice, more benefits from their employer. And one of the ways that the employer can solve this challenge of providing high-level benefits is offering a life insurance benefit for their highly compensated employees that goes beyond the group insurance. So group insurance, group term insurance is somewhere probably in the $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 of life insurance benefit. With these plans, with these executive carve-out plans, they can take their highly compensated employees and offer them an insurance benefit just for them. So it's guaranteed type issue underwriting, no exams. It's carved out for just the highly compensated employees. And we'll get into some of the details, but overall, these are the types of plans that can offer a kind of a high-end solution for executives that need more life insurance coverage. And for the advisor, these are six-figure, sometimes seven-figure premium cases. So a very lucrative market, a growing market, and a great solution for corporate clients that your advisors are trying to work with.
Well, Tom, that really sounds great. I mean, truly, it's a win-win for everybody. And we all know about helping business owners with their recruiting, rewarding, retaining. And, my assumption is the advisors that have joined us today really want to help solve this challenge and at the same time drive some level of revenue for themselves. So before we go any further, as you registered for this, you were given a document, a webinar action plan, right? So if you have it handy, I'd pull it out. If you don't have it handy, just find a blank sheet of paper, because as we go through the material, I want you to make notes of some clients that you actually can approach. This is how we're going to be able to take this solution and actually move it to something actionable. So Tom, I'll turn it back to you.
Okay, yeah, so let's talk about kind of how it works, and then we'll talk about some of the ideal clients that you can be looking for in your book of business, right? So it's a multi-life sale of selling life insurance with an executive universal life or an executive term policy. And it's offered, again, to the company's highly paid employees only, and it's paid for by the company. Okay, so this is a benefit for those highly paid executives, the C-suite, the VPs, the senior vice presidents, the high-end sales folks. This is the way to sell life insurance, individual life insurance policies as a multi-life benefit for these employees. And it's usually designed as a low-cost plan. So it's not about building a ton of cash value. It's typically designed with a minimum funding strategy, very similar to an ART pricing. Okay. Now, you're dealing with the CFO, you're dealing with the benefits director. And what the CFO wants to do is find what? The most cost-effective way to offer life insurance benefit policies and a benefit for their top tier executives and their highly paid employees. So the product most often is going to be owned by the individual employee. They can choose their beneficiary. It's portable, which means they can actually take the policy with them when they retire. So it's a corporate sale, and you need to have at least 15 highly paid employees making over 100 grand a year to qualify for the plan. And most of these plans that are offered are in that range. And again, you're working with the benefits director and the CFO of larger companies that have 50 or 100 employees or more to actually be in these plans. And so again, you're working with the benefits director, you're working with the CFO. They're very concerned about keeping the costs down. So this is a very cost-effective way to offer life insurance. Now, who are we looking for? The most common industries we see when we put these plans in place from Protective are law firms, okay, accounting firms, engineering firms, medical groups and hospitals, technology companies. Again, these are professional firms that have a lot of high income earners looking to have a perk benefit of having additional life insurance. And again, there's a UL option and a term option depending on what the CFO or the benefits director wants to do from a pricing standpoint. And here's some of the best parts of this. You can get up to $5 million of life insurance coverage per employee if the plan qualifies. There's actually a formula, and it's based on the number of employees in the plan. I mean, that's $5 million potential benefit of life insurance individually for your best employees on a guaranteed issue underwriting basis. No exams, no labs. And a lot of times you can also qualify for the chronic illness rider that's available on our product. And again, depending on how many employees you have and what state you're in, that could be available. So it meets a lot of needs.
Wow. That's impactful. 5 million, up to 5 million. That's a lot of coverage, especially when you look at a group plan. And I think you said earlier, maybe in a group plan, somebody may have, 100,000 or 30,000 or something like that. This really is a differentiated benefit. It makes a lot of sense, and it certainly fills an important need. But maybe you could talk a minute about why. Talk about the why. Why do companies buy this? And then the what? What's the with them? What's in it for them? What do they get?
Right. Okay, so let's start with the employer, the large corporate client your advisor is working with. And we kind of touched on this in the beginning, right? They want to recruit, retain, and reward their key people. Okay. So this carve-out plan, this executive life insurance carve-out plan, allows the corporate employer to offer a benefit package that's differentiated from competitors. Okay, so let's say they're a law firm and they're trying to recruit that attorney to come over. Okay, they're trying to get Harvey Specter to come over to their firm. Okay, and so just throwing a little suits there. You bring in Harvey, you bring in the attorney from the other firm. One of the perks they may offer is, hey, we have a very extensive benefit package that also offers a high-end life insurance benefit for you, that you can choose your own beneficiary and have a portable life insurance policy. So that's a huge differentiator, is a benefit package that's different from the competitor out there. The second thing that's really important for the employer is it's a much better model of life insurance for their best employees and their most talented employees. So if you're trying to offer life insurance as a benefit, you could sell individual policies. It's going to be very expensive. And the process, of course, is going to most likely include fully underwritten exams, labs, and so not something that the employer or the employee wants to go through. So having this on a guaranteed issue type basis and being able to offer it to multiple amount of employees at one time, very cost effective, much better model for selling life insurance in the corporate space. Now, the other thing is that the CFO wants to do what? They want to keep the costs down. They want to do this in the most cost-effective way. So our particular product at Protective has a 5-year rate guarantee schedule. Again, almost like an ART pricing built into the UL policy, as well as the guaranteed term rates that we offer as well. So it's got a guaranteed schedule, which again gives that employer the benefit of saying, hey, I know exactly how much this is going to cost me. So very cost-effective. Now, talk about the WIFM, all right? So for the employees as well, they get a high-end life insurance benefit, again, up to $5 million if we can get enough employees enrolled in the plan with the formula that can get them there. It's portable, so when they retire or leave the company, they can take it with them. They also have the ability to pay additional premium of their own money if they want to add contributions to the policy. So it's a very flexible plan, and it really kind of depends on what they're trying to do from a planning standpoint as well. So lots of benefits for the employer. Lots of benefits for the employee as well.
I mean, that's fantastic. I mean, truly, you're underscoring the win-win for everybody. Now, I just want to do an audible here to all of you that are listening and watching. How are you doing on your sheet of paper? How are you doing writing down those firms, law firms, accounting firms, medical practices, other professional organizations that you may know someone or work with somebody at that firm? All right, let's go back to Tom. Tom, talk about, so that's all good, but let's talk about the benefit for the producers, the advisors themselves.
Sure. Yeah. So a couple highlights on why this is such a great benefit for the producer, right? First benefit, significant revenue. I mean, these are often, as I mentioned, 6-figure. We've done as high as 7-figure premium cases, high 7-figure premium cases, because again, you're selling life insurance to, in some cases, if you're dealing with a large company, a large law firm or engineering firm or CPA accounting firm, you might be enrolling 200, 300, maybe 500 executives or employees at one time with these individual policies. So very, very large revenue opportunity in the space of what we call executive carve out or group term carve out. The other thing that comes up is that these companies are adding new employees every year, right? Their employees are changing, they're adding new employees. These employees are automatically enrolled into the plan by the TPA, the third party administrator. And we'll talk about that in a second. But these are automatic sales for the new employees coming in each anniversary. And that's a great automatic sales for the advisor. These are new policies being sold every year on the anniversary of the plan. And again, most of this work is being offloaded and handled by the third party administrator. And so let me kind of maybe jump into what we talk about that process for a minute and what that third party administrator looks like, if that's okay, Kurt. So let me explain the process. We have partnered. Protective Life obviously offers a fantastic product, but we partnered with a third party administrative firm, and actually we have two. We have Diane Eskin, nationally known TPA that's been focused on this group term carve out market for over 40 years. They're experts. We also have an additional firm that we just launched with as well, Executive Life Solutions. And again, they've been in this space for a number of years, experts in the space. And these TPAs will actually conduct the sales meeting, gather the census data, and that's the key. You got to get the census. It's sold off of a census. They'll create all the sales proposals. They'll enroll the case and take care of all the filings and administration on the on the first end of the plan or the front end of the plan, in the enrolling of the plan, and on the back end of servicing the plan. So, and another point to make here is that these TPAs, these third-party administrators, they've got the highest level of data security. And so usually what's called SOC 2 accreditation. Any employer, large employer, any large corporation you're working with is going to ask about data security. So it's really important to know this is all built into the enrollment process at the very highest level to protect data and to make sure the enrollment goes secure, efficiently, and is very seamless for the employee. So the entire sales process is handled by a third-party administrator. And really the only thing the advisor has to do is find the right prospect, get them introduced to our third-party administrator and with one of our sales representatives, and get on a phone call. And between the third-party administrator, DBS, and Protective, we can pretty much handle it from there and make sure that plan gets enrolled and put in place. So great process, very simple, and lots of benefits for the advisor from the standpoint of high revenue and not a whole lot of work to do on the plan. Let's most of it's offloaded.
That's great. And I happen to know one of the TPAs very well. And I got to tell you, they are, both of them, they're just amazing at their professionalism and their ability to work with the most important clients and corporations in the country. They have a long history of working in that marketplace. So let me just see if I understand this correctly. So if I'm one of the advisors joining today, and I've identified somebody on that sheet of paper, the first thing I should do is to give a call to my DBS regional sales director. That individual will then put them in touch with your resources at Protective, and together there will be an introduction call, and then the advisor can step back and let it happen. Is that essentially correct?
That is exactly what you want to do. You want to think through about your book of business, your best corporate clients. You say, do I have a high-end law firm that I know the very top level partners on a very close relationship basis? Or you may be in the benefit space. You do a lot of group insurance, health insurance, group term insurance, or you might be a money manager and you manage 401k business or assets under management for a corporation. Think about these large companies that you know that you have a really high level relationship with, and we'll give you a script that says basically, hey, Mr. Mr. and Mrs. HR or benefit director or CFO, are you looking to add a life insurance benefit for your high-end executives? If so, I want to get you on a phone call. We'll set up an appointment to meet with our insurance partner, DBS, our insurance partner in the TPA and Protective, and see if we can answer some questions and find out if this is something that's good for you. So exactly the process you want to go through.
That's great. That's great. Why do you think this market is so important, Tom?
Well, I do think about it a lot. It's a great market. It's kind of a fun market. But here's the data and the stats on it. It's about $250 million annual premium market. Okay, so $250 million a year of annual market, and it's one of the fastest growing markets because of what we talked about earlier, that employees are now looking for more and more benefits from their employers. So it's a fast growing market. And on average, 40% of these executive carve-out plans are replacements. So there's already a plan in place, and almost half the cases we run into have a plan in place. And you're really just coming in to see if you can enhance that plan and replace it with something that's much more cost effective, or maybe even just a better product for the employees. And half of these plans, I would say more than 50% of the plans that we put in place for executive carve-out are from 3 markets. Law firms, we've been talking about large law firms, large accounting, CPA firms, and medical hospital groups. These are the big groups that we find generally are very open and generally have these plans in place that are open to being reviewed and possibly replaced. Now, why does the CFO again want these plans? They want to do 2 things. They want to retain their best talent, and they're looking for cost-effective ways to offer benefits. And this is the way to do it with a carve-out plan for life insurance. Now, we talked about it. We mentioned earlier about protecting your book of business. If you're in the advisory business of any sort, whether you're in benefits, life insurance, money management, executive life insurance, as I mentioned, it's a growing market. It's being heavily promoted in the business market. So it's a very good chance that one of your best corporate clients is probably going to get approached on these type of plans. So it's very important that you as an advisor are offering this plan on the front end to make sure that they are aware of the plan and to make sure that you offer this type of plan, whether they're interested or not. They may be interested down the road, not necessarily right now, but you want to make sure that they know you offer this type of a benefit. And that way you're insulating and protecting your book of business from competitors as they look to offer this plan. So again, a lot of times we're working with a high-end money manager, PNC producer. They have corporate clients. They're getting approached by other advisors. Great way to protect the book and obviously grow revenue for your business.
I think that's great. And, we're really trying hard to get the word out about this. One of the reasons why I wanted to have you on the program today, Tom, we really want to get the word out about this opportunity, because I personally believe, and I know you agree, that this is a tremendous opportunity, not just to drive revenue, but I believe it provides a benefit to companies that they are truly looking for. They're truly looking for new ways to not only recruit, retain, and attract talent, they're also looking ways to improve what they already have, either from a cost standpoint or from a benefit feature standpoint. So it really feels like the time is right. And we've talked about, you should think about CPA firms or law firms. In fact, some of you on the call may even start seeing emails from us. If you haven't seen them already, you'll start seeing, because we're starting to really ramp up our trying to open awareness around this. Tom, you've talked about it a little bit, but I really want to dig deep into how can we help advisors find these cases?
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about the profile for a minute. So how do you find executive carve-outs? Let's start with who do you know in your client base that is a CFO or a CEO, C-suite of a large company? When I say large company, we're probably looking at companies that have at least 100 employees or more. Okay, we really want to have a larger company because you're trying to get at least 15 to 20 or more executives that you can carve out as the minimum to actually put these plans in place. Okay. Another question I a lot of times will pose to an advisor is, who is your largest privately held or publicly traded company that you do business with? They usually can think of that pretty quickly. And again, write these names down. And as we mentioned, a lot of times, 50% of these deals are law firms, CPA firms, and medical groups. Who do you know in your book of business that you're managing money for, that you're selling group insurance for, that you're doing individual life insurance sales for, that's in those three markets, or owns a firm in those three markets? Law firms, CPA firms, and medical groups. And if you're looking for a relationship with a senior partner or someone at the highest level, because again, we want to make sure this is very important, that you're offering a benefit to a company that you have a strong relationship with. Okay, so maybe again, you manage their benefits, you've done some estate planning. Those are the type of prospects that you're looking at. Write those names down. The other thing you want to be thinking about is, well, okay, now I've got someone in mind. I've got a CFO at a large company. I've got a large law firm with a senior partner that I do business with. What do I say? What's next? What's next is the script. And we want to give you a very simple script to say, basically, look, are you interested in offering life insurance to your highly compensated employees to recruit, retain, reward your best people? Because if you're interested, then we may have a way to offer up to $5 million of coverage for your executives on a guaranteed issue basis with no exams. Very simple, right? It's either yes, we're interested, no, we're not interested. If they're interested, say, great, it's called executive carve out, executive life insurance plans, group term carve out. We'd like to schedule an appointment with one of our insurance partners, DBS, and one of our TPAs that Protective works with, and see if your company qualifies for this type of plan. Now, if you're working, with a benefits director, right? You can call up that HR director. You do a lot of their benefits for the company and say, hey, by the way, do you offer executive life insurance? They may or may not be aware of what type of plan that is. But if you say to them, do you offer this type of insurance? And you say, yes, if so, great. We may be able to reduce your cost or greatly improve that benefit for your highly paid executives. And if you don't offer this plan, this is a great way to carve out those highly paid employees and offer them individual policy with guaranteed issue underwriting and no exams. So we'd like to set an appointment, again, trying to set the appointment with our insurance partner to see if we can help you figure out this plan works for your company or not. So again, that's the profile. And then these are some of the simple scripts that we try to work with your advisors on to help them set the appointment.
I think that's perfect. And you hopefully by now, folks are starting to think in their mind of firms that may make some sense to approach. But I don't know about you, Tom, but a picture is worth 1,000 words. So let's walk through. I know you said you were going to bring an example today, and my hunch is you probably changed some names. But let's walk through an example of one of your larger cases.
Okay, yeah. All right, well, let's wrap up with a couple success stories, right? So we worked with one of our advisory firms, identified a very large law firm that they did business with. We'll call them the court jesters. They had 70 partners, and what they decided to do was put $4.5 million of life insurance coverage on each of those partners. The premium was $460,000 of annual target premium. And then what they ended up doing was they merged their law firm with another law firm. And so 6 months later, they called and said, hey, we wanted to add more employees to this plan. So now they have 112 partners, added 4.5 million in coverage for each attorney, and now the premium's up to $742,000 a year. So again, very
Wow.
lucrative market, high six-figure premium cases. And what did the advisor do? They just identified a law firm they were doing business with and introduced them to our third-party administrator, and they took it from there. So very efficient. Another case, again, another law firm. I keep mentioning that because these are a lot of the deals that we do, but this one, we'll call them the Briefcase Bandits. They had 660 employees covered, if I remember right. And they had equity partners that wanted to have about $2 million or 2.5 times their salary. And then they ended up doing smaller amounts of death benefit for each of their associates and their directors and their other VPs. That premium was over $1 million in target premium. And that's just the interesting case. That case was issued last summer. I think it was in May of last year. And every week since then, they've been adding new employees into the plan. They're up to over 700 covered employees now that are being covered by the plan. So again, massive cases. These are the bigger ones. There's the smaller ones as well, but these are the types of opportunities that are out there for advisors. And again, the advisor, all they need to do, Kurt, is make the introduction. And the client's going to be very thankful that you brought a high-end insurance solution to either save the company money on the way that they're offering life insurance as a benefit, or just offering a very efficient way to offer life insurance. So think about those law firms, technology companies, medical groups, and definitely reach out to your DBS contact, and we'll get in touch with them.
That's great. I mean, if this hasn't been a sales accelerator, I'm not sure what one is. Tom, I hope all of those watching, listening, that you've written down, you filled up more than one page with ideas of who you can potentially talk to. Now, the process is designed to make it easy for you. So to get started, reach out to your regional sales director or your case designer, and you will get the next step. Our CDA team, ranging coverage across the country, as well as our regional sales directors, they are here to help you, right? So don't forget our in-house advanced sales department, in-house underwriting department, and all the resources we have out on the DBS website to really help you navigate through some of these very exciting sales accelerator ideas that we're bringing to you every single session. So, Tom, any final words from you, sir?
Well, first of all, thanks. I appreciate the partnership. We've been working together for decades now. So thanks for letting me share a little bit about this opportunity and how Protective Life is a big player in this market and a partner with you guys in this market. Again, we just appreciate how much of our partnership we've been working together for so long. And I'd say for the advisors listening, look, if this is a great way to offer a tremendous value for your executive and corporate clients. And even just one of these deals could end up being a very significant revenue for your business, for this business this year. So it all starts with a census. So as Kurt said, get your prospect introduced to DBS. We'll get in touch with us and get on the phone and see if this is something that would benefit the client you're thinking of. And again, it starts with a census. So once we get that census, gives us all the data on the employees that they're looking at. We can get the quotes run, and from there you can determine whether or not it's going to be something that they want to do or not. So anyway, Protective, DBS, we're partners. We're here to help. And again, I just appreciate you guys having us on today. So thanks, Kurt.
Absolutely, Tom. Thank you. And thanks everybody out there. Thanks for taking time out of your day to join us for another one of our sales accelerators. We hope your sales continue to accelerate. And until we talk again, take care, be well, and stay safe, everyone.